He said he'd stop the war.
Well, exactly. I think
he said he'd stop the war, which is important. I mean, the first thing to do before you start discussing reallocation of land is to stop the war.
Andrew Tate has taken to a recent interview explaining why he supports Donald Trump. He goes on to discuss that he doesn't necessarily agree with everything Trump has to offer, but he believes he's the best man for the job. Knowing Trump is pro-Israel, Andrew Tate explains why he thinks Trump is far more at an advantage to stopping the war than anyone else. Let's see what he had to say.
How do you deal with the cognitive dissonance caused by Trump's position? Obviously, you support Trump, but his position on the Palestinian cause, many pro-Palestinians...
Well, he said he'd stop the war.
Well, exactly. I think
he said he'd stop the war, which is important. I mean, the first thing to do before you start discussing reallocation of land is to stop the war. And he has promised to stop the war.
Even if he's, let's say, very pro-Israeli, as long as he stops the war, that's what matters?
Well, I think that he has more chance of stopping the war than Kamala. The first thing to do would be stop the bleeding. First thing. I'm not saying he's the perfect person. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not saying he's going to provide.
And you're allowed to disagree with many of his positions,
and I'm allowed to disagree
even if you like him.
100%. I still think he's the best person for America.
You'd be an idiot to like everything he does.
Well, a lot of people are idiots. I think a lot of the reason the American right support Israel is because they just like everything the American right do. The problem is with conservatives and the right wing is that they're just as stupid as the left. They're just as ideologically aligned as the left. The fact that I will sit here and agree that Gaza should be free and disagree with Israel, but then also agree with Russia and Ukraine is really remarkable, because if you find the Ukraine and Palestinian flags go together. They support the underdog. That's just how it is in their mind, because the liberals support the underdog in all things. They support the weakness because they're weak. So they support the Palestinian cause, which they're right on, and they support Ukraine, which they're wrong on. But they're just ideologically aligned to the underdog. And then you have the right-wing guys, the other people on the other side, who it's Israel, Israel, Israel. What's Israel ever done for you? Oh yeah, but the other guys are terrorists. Says who? The news? The news that you've been saying are fake, because you're the right wing. You've been saying fake news since 2016 when Trump said it, but when they say Israel's good, you believe that part. So you believe the parts of the news you want to believe, you don't think for yourself. So the right wing are just as bad as the left wing. So you have a whole group of people which are ideologically aligned completely 100% on both sides and don't want to think for themselves. It's very rare you have somebody who actually looks at each individual issue. That comes with problems. There's people inside the Republican Congress, there's people on the right wing who may not like me primarily because of that one stance. But yeah, the Gaza struggle and the struggle of the Palestinians is disgusting. And it's kind of amazing to me the cognitive dissonance between people on the right who believe their land should be for them and they're not happy to be ethnically replaced by minorities and they don't like illegal immigrants. But then they're pro-Israel. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense to me. You said that your land should be defended. Well, they're defending their land, aren't they? Oh, no, they're terrorists. Well, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. I went all in. I made it very clear I support the Palestinian struggle. I do support that.
Firstly, I would commend Andrew Tate on his stance. We always knew he was pro-Palestine. However, with his views and support for Trump before the election, I think that put a bit of doubt on where he stood. In this interview, however, he clarifies that and why he supports Trump over Kamala or Biden, and honestly, in terms of economic power and recovery, also in regards to stopping any war, Trump is the better candidate. Kamala and Biden encouraged a genocide, so I'm glad those monsters didn't get elected. However, I'm not so confident that Trump will stop the genocide or improve matters in Palestine. I don't see it being a priority on his list of things to do. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.